Hello, my name is Simon from What Culture, and this is the Why series that up to this point has been making its home on the Wrestling Channel, but now it's broken out and here it is on the Comic Channel. I can see your beaming faces right now. If you don't know though, it's where we take a somewhat relevant topic and we kind of play the devil's advocate or contrary opinion, and we look into something and we get in there and we divulge it and rip it open, and then you get mad and we all have a big fight. But yeah, recently website Newsarama did an interview with former Fantastic Four writer Jonathan Hickman, and he outwardly said the reason that Marvel cancelled the comic book series is because of all the hoorah with the film rights. Great. So what's going on with Fox and what's going on with Marvel? It is a hotbed of a situation. Why? Here's why. If you've been living under a rock for the past few years, for starters, your back's got to be killing you and you should go and sort that out. But also, you will not know that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the biggest thing of all time. I mean, it is massive and it's eating box office records up as if it's breakfast. It's richly deserved, however, as the company took a step back. It looked at the properties they had and went, if we actually tried with this stuff and didn't just crap it out and hope that the name alone will get audiences to come to the cinema, maybe we can have a mega success on their hands. And guess what? They did. And they've done loads of good films, and they're going to do loads of good ones more, because that's just the way of things right now. We've seen this with Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and the real icing on the cake is that they all tie together and you kind of have one singular narrative, whereas no matter what film you're watching, you know that Iron Man may be over there and Captain America's like in the bathroom and Thor is in Ragnarok or wherever the hell he lives. Basically, the whole universe is wonderful and Marvel deserves all the credit in the world for both coming up with this idea and executing it with so much panache. The problem, however, is that this wasn't always the case, and there was a time when Marvel were like, we don't give a crap, and they farmed their licenses out to other studios. I mean, take a look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man used to belong to Sony, and that's why we got about 72,000 reboots, as Sony tried to eat in to this cash cow that Marvel started to create. I mean, it started off all right, the original Spider-Man was good and the sequel was good, but then by the time 3 walked around, Spider-Man was walking down the street as if he was some kind of emo dude. He was mad and he had floppy dark hair and it all went bad. Bottom line is it all went really bad. Now, this wasn't really an issue before the Marvel boom happened because it was a comic book movie and nobody cared, but then that boom did happen and then it was like, no, wait, this is an issue because they're kind of screwing up our brand without actually being a part of our brand, even though it's still our brand. Film rights are very complicated. Money does talk though, and eventually the two companies did come together, and that's why we got Homecoming in 2017, and somehow Sony was still involved, but it was made by Marvel. None of that mattered, however, because it once again tied into the cinematic universe, and because of that, it was great and probably the best Spider-Man movie we've had. This isn't what happened with the Fantastic Four, mind, because Fox, who did have the rights, said, we've got this, we can try and buy in to all this momentum that's going on. So they rebooted the Fantastic Four in 2015, and it was bad. I mean, it was really bad. It was almost as if someone from Fox had come round your house, knocked on your door, and just punched you in your face, and then you had to reach into your pocket and give them a tenner. Dying both creatively and commercially, it was the complete antithesis to what Marvel was doing. So surprise, surprise, Marvel got really mad because then they felt like one of their franchises was being run into the ground, whereas all their other franchises were just getting better and better and better and better and better and better. I mean, let's be honest, by and large, the majority of people didn't know what was going on between Fox and Marvel. They probably assumed this was just a Marvel movie, and they were like, why is this one so shit compared to the rest of them? That then in turn does harm what Marvel was trying to do in its own world. Then what do? You got to do something, and their decision was, well, fine. We'll throw our toys out the pram. What does that mean? Well, in this case, it meant Marvel cancelling everything. So no more comics, no more films, anything that had the Fantastic Four name on it, it was dead. And they did come out and give some stupid reason that they didn't think it would resonate with audiences in 2017. But if you're doing that logic, you have to ask, why does a man flying around in a tin suit? It's clear that the reason for this was trying to get Fox to come on board so they could get the rights back and make a movie that they deemed was worthy. And to be fair, given how bad that 2015 reboot was, I can kind of understand this, and I actually think I'm on Marvel's side. Given it's rarely put a foot wrong up to this point, I can see why they wouldn't want anybody else to be putting a foot wrong on their behalf. And this does suck if you're a fan of the Fantastic Four, because you're now being punished. What you love has been taken away as bigwigs in suits have a big argument. But it is Marvel protecting their IP. Does anybody want another movie like we got a couple of years ago? No, we do not, because that was just, again, it was bad. It didn't make any money to begin with. Nobody liked it, so it served nothing. I mean, it only grossed $168 million, and the budget was $150 million. They may as well not have bothered. And that is so bad for a comic book movie, I don't even know where to start. Let's look at Spider-Man Homecoming again. Spider-Man Homecoming cost around $160 million to make, and so far that's made $676 million. So you see what we're dealing with here. And at this stage, it probably does make sense for Fox to just come aboard the Marvel bandwagon. Marvel have already announced a load of films till like 31:45 or something crazy, so you're not going to be able to fight it, and also you don't have the goods to try and compete with them. So it's a lose-lose if you don't. So that's where we are at the moment, and to be honest, it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon, and that does suck. The Fantastic Four may not be the best comic book in the world, but I do think you could take those characters and fit them into this universe very nicely. They would have a place. Going the complete opposite direction, having them cut off entirely, is just, well, that's rubbish. You don't want that to happen in anything. You don't want, like, Robin to disappear from Batman just because. You want everybody there, or at least have the option to have them there. You never know what the future holds, but for now, I wouldn't hold your breath, especially because if you do that, you're gonna die. Nobody wants to die. Anyway, that's the long and the short of it, but I'm going to hold out hope and keep my fingers crossed that we do get to the stage where we can at least see the Fantastic Four in an Avengers movie. That would be enough. That's like a fair compromise to start with, and then the whole cinematic universe is complete. Right now, it's a big hole. A big hole, Marvel. Big hole, Fox. You want to be responsible for a big hole? Right now, you're responsible for that big hole. Now, don't forget to leave a comment and let us know what you think about all of this. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go on to whatculture.com and read some articles, and follow What Culture on Twitter at What Culture. My name is Simon from What Culture. This was the Why series. I hope you'd enjoyed it, and I hope to be seeing you again soon. You know, I never see you. You see me, but I know you're there. I feel it in my heart.